everybody, welcome back to this random journey. Today we're going to be talking about minimalism and staying out of debt. Now, if you're not out of debt yet, this video I hope will also be helping you. And if you don't get everything you want out of this video, make sure to leave a comment down below about what you would like to know more about staying out of debt and minimalism. And I will try my best to either respond or make another video around that topic. In this video, we're going to be looking back to our past and kind of going through our debt-free story. And then I'm hoping that you will be able to see how minimalism has really changed the way we think about debt and going into debt, and why it is helping us to stay out of debt. Let's look at our debt journey up to this point. We started out our life together, me and my husband, got married, and we of course bought a house. We decided to buy a house just because it was cheaper than renting in our area. So we purchased our house, and of course we borrowed money for that. So we were in debt to the bank for that, and then we began, of course, a family, and we had all kinds of medical bills, and then some other medical things that came up throughout the years, and we had those kind of bills that we had to pay off. So after we paid off all the medical bills, we had to look at our house. And this is where minimalism has really changed the way we think about debt. So let's talk about our house debt and why I think it's very important to get out of debt completely, including your house, in order to really be financially free, and how minimalism can help you do that. Okay, so let's talk about this house. This house, if you've watched some of my previous videos, like, I don't know, a year ago even, I was talking about our house and how little it is and how cramped it is and how I just want to get into a bigger house and to be happier, and how I felt like that we needed a bigger house to be happier. Now rewind back to when me and my husband were looking for our first home. Of course, we was on a limited budget, but also we thought, well, all we really need is 3 bedrooms. So if we have kids, we have a bedroom for us and a bedroom for the kids and maybe an office. That would be awesome. So that's what we was looking for in a home, enough space. And when we moved in, it seemed like the house was huge, and then we had kids, and of course it quickly filled up with things. So the bedroom that my daughter has now used to be an office, and then of course we had our daughter, and we moved her into the office, and the office went to the opposite end of the house where the boys now are. And so after we had 2 separate rooms for our kids, the office wound up inside of our bedroom, which I absolutely hated. But the bedroom was here, the office was here in the bedroom, and it was kind of pile of stuff in our corner, and I don't actually know if I have footage of that, but if I do, I'll try to pop that up for you so you can see what it looked like before. And we had tubs underneath of the desk that held all kinds of stuff. Again, the word is stuff. So everything seemed fine until we started having to put things into rooms that they didn't really belong in, and we began to feel very cramped in our house. And that's, I think, whenever I really started feeling unhappy in our home, just because of the sheer amount of stuff. But I didn't realize that that's why I was unhappy. I thought I needed a bigger house to house all of my stuff. Again, it's all about the stuff. So I didn't realize this though, and so we just continued living in our house and being unhappy, and we began to save money for a down payment on our future home. So we began to just save like crazy, and we were saving every little bit of money that was coming in. We were putting into a savings account so that we could have a down payment for our larger house. Now, at the time, that's all we were thinking about, getting out of this house, getting into a bigger house, and that's all that we could talk about, all we could think about was that. And so we would save. But then, after a lot of prayer, because we were going and looking at all these houses and nothing seemed right, and nothing was fitting into our budget that we had for a down payment, and so after a lot of prayer, I felt like I needed to pay off this house. So how did we do that? After I felt the urge to pay off this house, we took the money that was in our savings account for our down payment on that big home that we wanted, and we threw it onto our home loan. Then after that, we began to take all the extra money coming in, so any overtime, any money we got for birthdays, anniversaries, random money that just would come in, we would throw that at our house loan. I'm going to say that it was very exciting to watch the amount of money go off of the loan every month and kind of watch the transition that was happening on the loan paper. And I got really excited every month to actually pay the home loan, which is kind of weird, but it was exciting and kind of thrilling to see that it was going to happen. We were going to get out of debt, and there was an excitement behind that. So a little over a year after we began throwing money at our home loan, we were able to pay off our debt completely. So it's been over a year now that we have been completely debt-free, and it was this past fall that we began to look into buying another home, because after we paid off our house, we were able to put all of the money that was going towards our home loan into a savings account. And so we had built up a pretty good chunk of money to start looking for a bigger house, because we still thought that that's what we wanted, was a bigger house, because there just was no space in this house. So we began to look into properties, and there just wasn't anything that was jumping out at us and felt right. And everything that did feel right or looked like something we wanted was way out of our price range. So we continued looking and continued seeking after that bigger home, but it just was not working out. And another thing that we kept on going back to is we hated the idea of going back into debt just for a bigger home. And so every time that we would talk about getting that bigger home, we kept on thinking about, oh, we're going to go back into debt after we already got out of debt. But still, we wanted that bigger home. So it was like one of those things where you're trying to balance out, go into debt, don't go into debt, you know. And we knew we weren't happy in our house that we were in because there wasn't enough space for all of our stuff. So that was kind of the conversation that was happening around our house was we need a bigger house for all of our stuff, but we don't want to go into debt. So it was kind of a balancing act, trying to figure out what we wanted to do. And then one night we were sitting in our bedroom talking, and we had this amazing idea. One thing we wanted so badly in our next house was a second bathroom. And for it to be in our master bedroom would be even better. But just having a second bathroom would be amazing, because having one, there was always fights about going to the bathroom and people knocking and banging on the door trying to get in there. So we're like, we just would like to have a second bathroom. And we were sitting on our bed, and I remember we looked at our closet, and we just all of a sudden said, well, what if we put a bathroom in half of our closet? Because it's so hard to get back there to the storage anyway. You know, why don't we do that? And that is the idea that sparked our renovation and our remodel that we have begun. Okay, so this is the part where we get into why minimalism is helping us to stay out of debt. The conversation when we first started our remodel was, we will remodel our house a little bit, and then we're going to resell our house and use that money to buy a bigger house, and then we won't have so much debt that we go into, because we'll have that money to help kind of pile on to the debt that we're going to go into. So we decided that that's what we was going to do when we first started our remodel. So we started our remodel, I believe it was in November. Nope, it was October. So we started a remodel in October and began here in the master bedroom. When we began our remodel, I remember thinking the stuff for the office is not coming back in this room whenever we come back into this room. And that is the moment and the thing that shifted me into the minimalist lifestyle. That was the thought process, and I began to go through things a little bit by little bit And that then, and I think it was it November, I believe, that I put up our Becoming Minimalist video. And if you haven't checked that out, you can check that out. I was in the kitchen one day and I was like, it's just so crowded and so cramped. And of course, me and Michael were sleeping in the living room while we were remodeling in the master bedroom here. And so everything was compacted into the living room, and I just felt cramped even more. And so I really had this urge to just get things out because I just felt so stressed out and overwhelmed by stuff. And so I was in the kitchen and I decided I am going to declutter this kitchen. And that was the moment that I was like, you know what, getting rid of things has really been making me happy. And that is whenever we decided, or I should say I kind of decided for us, that I wanted to become a minimalist. It's something I had thought about in the past doing, and I thought there's no way I could ever become a minimalist, and there's just no way that I could do that. But really, this remodel has sparked that inside of me, and that's why we began our journey. Since that big declutter, and since the remodel here in the bedroom and going through my closet and actually being able to eliminate a whole dresser out of our bedroom and not bringing in the office stuff back into this bedroom is peaceful and we feel calm here and we feel like we can live here. Me and my husband have had many conversations about how we feel like we can be in this home a very long time if progress like this happens in every single room. We don't feel cramped. We feel like there's plenty of space to do things we want to do. And now that we have the second bathroom, that just kind of added to the things we like about this house. So minimalism and getting rid of and decluttering things has made us peaceful and at peace in our home. And we don't feel like stuff is overtaking our life in our bedroom. I can't say anything about the living room or anything else right now. Right now our daughter is in the living room because we're remodeling her space. So the living room is really cramped and that kind of thing. But I know that as we continue, it's just going to get better and better. And I don't think that we are going to need that bigger home like we thought. We only really needed a bigger home because of the amount of stuff we had tried to cram into our space. Instead of being content with what we have, we thought that we needed more and more and more. And now we feel content and feel like we can make this house our home once again, because it used to be our home. We used to feel comfortable here. And now we're getting back to a place where we feel comfortable in our home. We're no longer remodeling our home in hopes to one day sell it for a huge profit and be able to go buy our bigger home or have a down payment for a bigger home. We're now remodeling our house with the intent on staying here for a long time. And possibly that's going to make it to where we can save up enough money to buy a house, not saying it has to be larger, but a house in general, maybe on that property that we were wanting, or even to build a house if we want to, outright and not have to owe money to anyone to do so. The more things we get rid of, the happier we are in this home. Today we actually have someone coming to pick up our coffee table. If you've watched previous videos, I talked about our coffee table and how we had moved it to the shed during the remodel. We moved that back into the house and took pictures of it to sell online. And it's been sitting in our living room and it has felt so cramped in there. Yes, we have utilized the coffee table. We have used it and have enjoyed using it. However, it just has really made that space feel so compact and so tight that we really want our floor space back, because there was so much that we could do with that floor space. And finally, after I think it's been about a month, or maybe not quite, but it's been around a month that we've been trying to sell our coffee table, and finally someone has offered us money and they're coming to get it today. So I'm so excited to have our floor space back in the living room. And it's things like that where if you have something that you can sell it, and what we're doing with that money is putting it back into our home. So we are using it for our remodel, Also, we are no longer just going out and buying things to buy them, or because, oh, I really want that, or, oh, I saw that and I want to buy that. We're no longer doing that. So we are saving so much money, so much more money than what we used to save, because if I wanted new clothes, I would just go out and I would buy new clothes, even if they weren't something that I particularly thought was great. Now I'm very choosy about what I buy. I take a very long time to think about items. I research items before I buy them. Like we've been thinking about getting a chair for in the corner here where I do my recording, and because my husband wants a place to be able to read and kind of relax in our bedroom. And I have been looking for probably about a half a month, been looking at different chairs for this corner. Nothing has like jumped out and been like, yeah, that's the one. But I've looked at dozens of chairs and different things I would like to put in this corner. And I'm not going to just jump in and grab any chair. I'm going to be very choosy about what comes into my house and really think things through. And as we're remodeling through each room, I'm thinking of ways to organize things in a better way, and to downsize each time we go into a room. We will be downsizing as we go into each one of those rooms, and to make it more comfortable for the kids, to make it more comfortable for us. And as we do that and go through each room, we are going to feel happier and more content in our home. And that is what is going to keep us out of debt. That is what's going to keep us from going out and purchasing a bigger home for a price that we really can't afford and go back into debt. And so minimalism really is helping us to stay out of debt. If you still have debt, don't be discouraged. You can become debt-free, and I know that minimalism can really help you to get out of debt and to stay out of debt. If you have any questions, if you'd like me to go into detail on anything else regarding minimalism or debt or anything like that, make sure you leave a comment down below. You can also check me out on Facebook, This Random Journey, and I am on Instagram, so check me out there. And if you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you next time.